explain to kiddos, and you're working with kiddos, one of the greatest benefits of understanding it is this very key word, and this is the important thing you have to write down today: cheat sheet. We always think we need to cheat for whatever reason, so you tell them it's a cheat sheet in your brain that you can take with you, and you can take it into any test. They absolutely love that whole idea of it being a cheat sheet. So you can do that in your head. It's a visual processing. One of the other great tools that we use with the visual processor is actually working to remember ideas or concepts, things that people are saying or doing. In the center, we teach the students to learn all 44 of the presidents of the United States. Can anybody say them here?
No.
All 44?
No.
So Washington, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Adams, Jackson, Buren, Harrison, College, Polk, Taylor, Fillmore, Pierce, Buchanan, Lincoln, Johnson, Grant, Hayes, Garfield, Arthur, Cleveland, Harrison, Cleveland, McKinley, Roosevelt, Taft, Wilson, Harding, Coolidge, Hoover, Roosevelt, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama. Hey! And you saw what I did, right? I looked at my picture. Yeah, so I create a picture, and I visualize that picture so I can say all 44 presidents. Obama is not an O with a bomb in the middle. It's a llama, just so you know that. Thought I would share that. It's a cognitive picture that you create in your mind, okay? And so you create this picture, and you are able to go through and memorize by that. So we're going to try it. Everybody ready? Okay? Yeah? You're guinea pigs, huh? Not the 44 presidents. We're actually going to give you another exercise. The exercise that we're going to do for you is we're going to give you 5 items. And how many of you have done an exercise where you have shown your classmates, you have given, or your kids, or whoever you've worked with, you've actually given them a, maybe a tray, a cookie sheet or something that has items on it, and try to get them to visualize them. Okay? At the brain exhibit, they have a little idea that's something like that. The visual processing can be used in quite a number of ways. One of the great ways is using classroom items. If you're in the classroom and you have a word list and they can associate with that item. Of course, most teenage boys want to remember the girl's phone number, so they'll associate real well with that. We use visual processing for names for necessary and important people. So first exercise we're going to do is I want to say a word to you. The word is cat. Okay? And I want you to think about your cat. Okay, how many had a white cat in the head? Black, orange, striped, fat, skinny, alley cat, Siamese. Yeah. Everybody in here, your hand's going up different because your visual picture that you created of that cat was very different, okay? Now, this next one's kind of a New York thing, taxi, okay? My image of taxi is very different. Now, I've ridden in a taxi. I've never ridden in one before. It's a new experience. 40 years old, first taxi ride. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so taxi, all right? Yellow, blue, striped, checkered, van style, yeah? Fast, slow, driver has a hat on, driver speaks a foreign language. Okay. Some of that got off your visual processing, but no, there's things that you take in and you process those. And understand when you're working with students and people working, this visual processor is key to their comprehension. Because if they're not visually processing information very fluently, then they are not creating that movie in their head that they're seeing and comprehending. And they're also, the other problem that can be, when you're getting into it, like my experience with a taxi. Is my experience when I read about a taxi richer now that I've experienced it? Yes, I can tell you that personally, and I can tell you that research shows that also, once you've experienced it. But it's not every child or every person that we're going to be able to take and put them on an escalator for the first time. And not everybody's going to get those experiences. So how do you recreate those experiences? You have to do it by initiating the visual processor. Okay? All right, so everyone close your eyes. Everybody who's not scared of me. Oh wait, some of y'all opened your eyes back up. Okay, so close your eyes, and then you're going to visualize a beach. Okay? And on the beach, it has white sand. And on the beach with the white sand, there is a little boy, and he's playing ball, and he kicks the ball, and all of a sudden he falls down and starts screaming in pain. Okay? All right, open your eyes. Now, how many of you have been to the beach? Okay? How many of you have been to the beach and you've seen something similar to what I just described? Okay? So tell me what you think occurred. See the front seat people, you got to do it.
His friend catch the ball, he tripped on his feet.
Okay, so he tripped.
He hit his toe.
He hit his toe.
Something bit him.
Something bit him. See, I'm with you. I was thinking jellyfish stung you on the leg, okay? So you have 3 different experiences that led to that conclusion or that inference, right? So that affects your reading, okay? So the more details that they're getting and the more that they're pulling out and creating that picture, even if they have, the better that visual processor and comprehension becomes. Very cool, huh? Okay, so the next activity we're actually not going to have time to do today, but I'm going to tell you how to do it in your classroom because it's so much fun. And those of you who are classroom teachers or those of you who are specialists who work one-to-one with children, you take a coloring picture, any kind of coloring picture. The simpler, the better as far as the coloring activity. And you photocopy it, okay? And then you take that copy and you color it, okay? You color that. And then you describe the coloration to the student. And the student is going to color their picture based on the way you describe it. And then they're going to show you their picture and see if it matches. How many of you think it's going to match? It's going to be based on your verbal skills then, right? Your ability to describe. And then you can do the reverse, where the student gives you a picture, and if you have it in one-on-one to do this. It's really fun as a small group activity, and it helps them increase not only their expressive language, so they're having to use the correct words. So those of you who love to work with expressive language, it works on the expressive language, which is so necessary for so many of our kiddos. And then it works very, very strongly on their visual processor to help them see that picture in that colors. Again, just a little tip, you might want to limit to like 5 colors, especially if you have someone who's, really struggling with those difficulties. So limit your amount of coloration that you do in that activity. Okay. Most of you know what phonemic awareness is. We're at the Dyslexia Conference, so I don't have to spend a lot of time talking about phonemic awareness. But we do realize that that is a huge impact here, and how auditory processing is impacting that. Manipulations of the beginning and ending sounds, dropping sounds, substituting sounds, and switching sounds are all things that we do. So we're going to just jump down here to this long word that starts with the F. Okay? So I need a volunteer. Come on, volunteer, volunteer, volunteer. All right, you're up. Yeah, how it is. Is that just not nice? Yeah, just the F one. Can you read just the F one for me?
Oh,
yeah, it's tough, huh? Anybody else? Okay, yes? Ah, she's seen it before. Yeah, okay. Flossy, nosy, hilipification. So you have to flossy, nosini. Yeah, that's how you go in. Okay? Flossy, nosini, hilipification. You see it now? Okay? The point of it is that you use your auditory processor to actually break it into pieces or to chunk that word and actually get where you can attack that word. So you have that first part, then the next part, and you use your principles of word attack skills to get there. That's one of the longest words. Anybody want to try the next one? Yeah, not so much?
what does it mean?
Flossy-Nosini hilipification is actually medical terminology. Urine and gas. It has to do with medical terminology, as does our next animal. That's one of the longest words. And then we have the third longest word.